Why did the mass construction of airships come to a halt for 80 years? Why hasn't their revival become a reality to this day, despite numerous projects, including one by Max Pruss, former captain of Hindenburg? Friends, welcome to the podcast about airships in plain language, dedicated to the new Generation Airships project, and I am your host, Gennady Babanin. Today we'll talk about the stereotypes that are still holding us back. Airships once symbolized scientific progress and human ambition. People saw them as a marvel of technology. When a German passenger airship arrived in a city, it was greeted with great ceremony. Arches with welcoming inscriptions in different languages were set up, theatrical performances staged, and concerts held. The arrival of the Hindenburg was broadcast live on Chicago radio, but it was this very arrival that marked the beginning of tragic changes in the fate of airships. The Hindenburg incident, May 6, 1937, cemented in public consciousness the belief that airships were dangerous. Subsequently, the fear after this disaster, known as the Hindenburg syndrome, this phenomenon influenced the development of hydrogen energy. In memory of the destruction of the Hindenburg airship, which was filled with hydrogen, there was a reassessment of the dangers of hydrogen. This reassessment held back research in the field of hydrogen energy for a long time. Thus, the Hindenburg tragedy became a key factor that halted the further development of airships as passenger transport. Public opinion changed dramatically from admiration and amazement to distrust and panic. Despite the obvious advantages of airships, their ability to transport cargo over long distances with low carbon emissions and high energy efficiency, the fear of explosions and crashes slowed down research and investment in this unique technology. It was at this moment the era of airplanes pushed airships out of skies. Is it possible for airships to make a comeback in this time? Stay with us and we will find out. The Hindenburg syndrome is not just a historical event. It is a symbol of the deep fears and biases that surrounded airships for many decades. After the tragedy in 1937, when the Hindenburg airship exploded in Lakehurst, airships continued to be used. However, many people saw them as a terrible risk, and even the most advanced technologies of that time could not convince the public of their safety. Gradually, their use faded. At the same time, their potential advantages acknowledged fuel efficiency, environmental friendliness, and the ability to transport large cargo. Interest in airships never faded, proven by revival projects that kept emerging in various countries. Even Max Pruss, the former captain of the Hindenburg, who himself was injured in the disaster, developed his own helium airship project and tried to attract investment for it. Max Pruss presented project in 1950s, arguing for advantages of airships over airplanes. However, he was unable to revive passenger zeppelins, supposedly because it required significant financial investment and failed to attract investors. Airships ultimately ended up in the shadow of airplanes. The real reason for their mass discontinuation was not so much technical imperfection as the fear sparked by a single disaster. The image of the Hindenburg became synonymous with tragedy and the betrayal of hopes for airships as the future of aviation. This bias became rooted in people's minds, and despite numerous developments and successful tests, airships were on the verge of oblivion. The Hindenburg syndrome, which became a metaphor for the tragic collapse of hopes, continues to influence air transport even in the modern world. You've likely encountered skeptical opinions about airship revival in Russia, haven't you? So, will airships be revived? This question interests not only historians and engineers, but also romantics, for whom airships symbolize an era of amazing discoveries and unforgettable journeys. In recent years, the world has again turned its attention to this noble form of aviation, Their graceful lines, majestic shapes, and originality evoke nostalgia for a time when these airships crossed skies like slow-moving clouds. But can investments in airships be dismissed as unviable and merely romantic? Of course not. Giants like Google would hardly be interested in airships if there was no profit. The airship Pathfinder 1, astonishing the world, was created by LTR Research with Sergey Brin, Google's co-founder. The technological process has not bypassed airships. New materials, more advanced control systems, and engines are opening up new horizons for their use. In Russia, with its vast territory and diverse climate, the use of airships for delivering cargo to remote areas and monitoring natural resources appears promising. Nevertheless, questions remain regarding safety, prestige, and competitiveness with other transport modes. Experts and developers are already working on solutions to these challenges. And then we will once again see these majestic ships in the sky, reminding us of their predecessors and inspiring the next generation of dreamers. The Russian project, New Generation Airships, is of course quite ambitious. After all, this project will have to overcome many stereotypes about airships. The initiative aims to create aircraft capable of redefining our understanding of air transport. The new airships will combine advanced technologies, sustainable materials, and innovative design solutions which will significantly increase their economic efficiency and environmental safety. Modern airships will be equipped with automated control systems and highly efficient engines, which in the future will run on renewable energy sources. Thanks to these features, they will be able to transport passengers and cargo over long distances while minimizing their carbon footprint and noise pollution. It will be necessary not only to create the airships themselves, but also to develop the infrastructure for their maintenance and operation. New types of airports will be equipped with modern navigation and safety systems, ensuring reliability and comfort for passengers. As we have seen, there is still a lot of work ahead, including with public opinion, which unfortunately does not change as quickly as technology does. But an airship rising into the sky will become a symbol of a new era in aviation, opening up horizons for sustainable development and increased human mobility. As for whether Russian airships will be commercially successful, we'll talk about that in the next episode. See you soon.